Oh, yes, indeed. It's time for some Jane's Addiction. Not only some, but my favourite Jane's Addiction tune and my favourite Dave Navarro solo, I think. Been Caught Stealing coming up. Now, before we get started, thank you to all of the patrons who are just flooding in at the moment. It's incredible. I'm absolutely blown away by it. Also, we've just reached 15,000 subscribers, which is insane. So again, thank you all very much for subscribing and watching the videos. I massively appreciate it, and all the comments coming in as well about people picking up the guitars and you know, watching the vids, and that's awesome stuff, and why the channel's here, frankly. So with that in mind, I'm going to dedicate this one to all of you. Let's crack on with this, shall we? Standard tuning. Now I'm using my Friedman BEOD pedal again. I'm also going to use a little bit of chorus, because there's a bit of chorus in this. Any old chorus pedal, any old setting will probably do you. So here's the settings I'm using for the solo. So it's quite distorted, but the main part of the riff isn't. So what I'm going to do is, rather than playing, I'm just going to back off the volume right down, actually, and a bit of reverb on my amp. So the main riff's going to sound like this. So that's how it's sounding. I've literally just notched it up, so I'm not losing much volume. I'm just cutting off some of the gain, and then I'm going to turn it full up for the solo. Those are the tones. So the opening chords, you know it's that tune, right, when you hear that. Basically dominant chords, so same shape, just slid down one fret, and you're starting on the 6th fret on the E string, which is B flat dominant 7th. And then you're sliding it down to A dominant 7, or A7, okay? And then you're into the main verse riff, so let me play that through for you. So, two subtle variations there, but let me go through the first main riff first, okay? So you could play it down here. Part of a G7 chord. So by all means do that, but I see Dave, when he's playing it live, play it here, so I'm going to do the same. So you're going to play 5th, 7th and 6th frets from the D string, okay? So try not to hit the open E, because it'll sound a bit weird. So you're just going to hit those 3 notes, okay? And you're going to basically play this rhythm. Now it's got a shuffle feel, okay? You're not playing this straight. It's more. So let me play that slowly for you, and then we will break it down. Okay, so the only variations are right at the end of each phrase, and I've just played that around twice, so there are 2 variations, and then it just repeats that around. There's some subtle differences throughout, but that is the meat and potatoes of that first riff. So the bit that I'm playing here, I'm taking my middle finger off and on to get that. Okay, so okay, and then you're into the second measure. So that took me ages to get into my head. I don't know why, you might find it easier, but I just basically had to learn it in little chunks. So I learned that bit first, which is the first half of the first bar. Okay, and from there, then you're going to play a... Okay, so that's the second half of the bar. 2, 3. So let's stick with that first bit first and put those two together. We have... And again. And then to speed. And you'll find it's quite a bouncy kind of rhythm, okay? So. Now, the second half of that riff is just the G5 riff. And for the last two notes, you're going to flatten your first finger and play the top string. You'll probably clip the B as well. Then unflatten and just play those three notes. Sounds a bit weird like that, but in context. So if you're playing it down here, which is way easier actually. You could play it like that if you wanted. All I'm doing there is... At that point you're going to need to swap fingers. So you're flattening my first finger on the 3rd fret on the B and E there. So I can get to the 5th fret. So that's the first half of that riff, if you like, or the first variation. The second variation, first bar is the same. And you're just going to play this. Okay, so just that rhythm. Partway through the verse, you'll also hear this. So for the first bar of the phrase, you just play 2, 3, 4. And then you fill in the second bar with something like that. Then you're going to go to this next section. Let me play that through in its entirety, okay? And then you're back round again, okay? So, that is immense, and there's some really cool chord extensions there. First one is just a C major power chord. So that rhythm, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to go between the 1st and 3rd fret, so B flat to C. Then to F, which is 1st fret on the low string. Then to a full G chord. Okay? And that rhythm, okay? Then you need to pause there because you're going to change your fretting position to the C sus4 chord and play that. You're going to need to play that with upstrokes, okay? So that slowly. Because it's coming in on the off beat, okay? So then you go to this. Which is another C dominant 7 chord, okay? So that slowly, 3, 4. So the main thing you're playing there is just that C power chord, but your little finger's going to be going between the 6th fret on the B string and the 6th fret on the E string, okay? So you're going to go, so on and then off, then back on, then you move it up to the 6th fret. So that slowly. And then you go back into those opening chords. But they come in just before the beat, so the rhythm's slightly different to the intro, okay? So you're going to hear this. Pretty straightforward, same chords as before, just the rhythm is slightly different. Right, next up you're going to go into this lovely little guitar break. It's based around this chord, which is basically an octave above this. So that's how it sounds down there, but he adds some chorus, which we have on. That's going to go like this, if I can play it up here. Okay, I think that's about as good as it'll get. Basically, slowly it is this. Then you're going to slide that little finger, tuck that back in so it's on the 19th fret and play this chord. And then the second time round you just play this. And then, friends, we are into the solo. Probably what you've all turned up for. I know I have. Now, I can't yet play this solo all the way through, but it's a challenge to myself and a challenge that I will set you too. So I'm going to do it in chunks. First bit goes like this. And then you're up here with a... Actually nearly, not too far away. So let's wind back and I'll go through those chunks slowly. Man, that was exciting. So this is all very pentatonic and bluesy, okay? But the choice of notes in it is just amazing, and the feel that Mr. Navarro puts in, this is just great. So anyway, you're going to play this. Which is very bluesy. If you take away the 6th fret on the B string, you're going to be playing. Very, very bluesy, okay? So 4 bends. The first 2 are legato, the second 2 are very staccato. So it's. And then there's a bend and release. But with the 6th fret added on the B string, it's like this. Okay, so that again slowly. That's great, that bend and release. Now that 4th fret there is the first beat of the next bar. And then you're going to do this little rundown, which is a bit unusual actually. The phrasing there is a little bit strange, but it's great, especially with the tune. It's amazing. So that little rundown, you're going to play the 5th fret twice there. Okay, so that's bit tab. Ending on the 2nd fret. This is all in G, so that ends on the 3rd. So he's actually playing a little bit outside of the blues scale. Okay, so that'll be. So he's flitting between a couple of scales there. Okay. Anyway. Then you're going to play this. And that sort of sound is kind of a pinch harmonic, so you're going to get a little bit of extra flesh on the other side of your pick. And just start picking in different places across here, okay? The rhythm of that is... okay? So... and then you're going to play back to that second fret, so not, which is where a lot of people would play it, but he resolves it to that, which sounds awesome. Now, I don't know if there's a super quick one of those, a little ghost sort of slide or whatever. I slowed it right down and I couldn't hear clearly enough, so either play a really quick slide or just go straight to the second fret. So let's break down this next bit. Super bluesy again. So that slowly. Now you could use your third and fourth fingers. Just feels a bit unnatural to me, so I'm going with my first two fingers there. And then I do have to remember to move my first finger back to the 15th fret for that little run, okay? Lovely stuff. Then, another little note on fingering, I keep doing it wrong. You want to land there with your second finger ideally. If you use your third, you've then got to immediately do a bend on the adjacent string above that, okay? So that's kind of tricky. So the second phrase is... again, it's just lovely stuff. So that slowly. It's a full bend on the 18th fret there. And then you go into a series of bends and... and these are like triplets, so the tab might look a bit confusing. So the phrase goes... okay? Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Not a lot to say really, it's just a groovy little bendy run. Then you've got this very quick riff, okay, which goes like this. It's almost there. Basically, it's a load of triplets. So pull off first. Then you're going to play either with your whatever's strongest, I guess. I find that more difficult, so I use my little finger there. So the first set of triplets goes... then you're going to play... okay? And then... amazing stuff. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. I don't know how he plays it or where he plays it, or if he's phrasing it slightly differently to that, but that is what I heard when I slowed it down and listened to it for a lot of times. Then you're going to go to this lovely bluesy run. then there's another little solo after that. Okay, so that part, basically around that sort of scale position, right, 8th fret, and you're going to be playing that little descending run. Then you're going to do these double stop bend and releases. Again, that. Just playing that all over the shop. And there's a really quick bit of the run in there actually, so I'll come to that in a sec. So that slowly. Okay, that's the first part. Then from here. It's quite a quick run actually there. You could probably leave out that little passing note there on the 9th fret if you wanted. So ignore that, but I do hear that. I heard that extra note in there. Put it in if you like. So that slowly. Then you go to these chords again. But this time you're starting them on the 7th fret, down 1 fret to the 6th, and then back up. Then there's this next part. Let me try and play this through for you. Okay, I'll have to look at my tabs. I really don't know this one. Oh, that was good. Was not expecting to get that one right first time. Back into those chords again, and then it goes into that little breakdown. So these are cool. Little bit of kind of artificial harmonics happening. He's definitely digging in with his pick there and a bit of. That is awesome, awesome. So let me play that slowly, then we'll break it down. Slowly, that is. So 6 8 6, and a bend. Another one of those. Just an octave below that one, okay? So that's the first phrase. And from there you're going to change position and move to, so you're in this position now, okay? So it's a cool little technique that, to move between positions, really slick. So that slide from the 8th to the 10th. Then you're going to do, you skip a string and on the 8th fret you slide down. You need to adjust your fingering slightly there. I'm playing slide down. You could do a pull off if you wanted. Or whichever feels comfortable to you. And then this last phrase goes, very basic blues run. It's a full bend. So you're just flattening your finger on the top 2 high strings, and then you're going to put your little finger down for that quick bend on the 11th. And towards the end you do play around that. You play around that bit twice. There's an extra kind of half of those in there, I think. And then you're going to play... and end on the G. And that, people, is the end. So I hope you enjoyed that one. I absolutely love that. And if you've got the time to spend on this, then please do. It's given me nothing but a big smile on my face. As the 15,000 subscribers and all of your comments and all the patrons. I don't know what's happening, but I love it. So thank you very much. And see you all soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.